Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Rural Contractors. I'm your host, Paul Osmondson, and today's topic is make a mess and clean it up. In business, how often do we make a mess and have to clean it up? And this is a cycle, and this cycle really depends on what you're doing. In trying to improve your business, in making it more efficient, you have to bring in new ideas, which disrupt the flow of what's going on. It disrupts the flow, which then it makes a mess. You have to go, hey, I'm using this new software. Right away, it's a pain in the butt. You have to figure it out. And you're really creating this chaos. And I feel like this is really a cycle in business of you make a mess and you got to clean it up. The first time trying to figure out payroll, it's like, this is a mess. This is really hard. How do I do it? But then you consistently get in it and you continually go, okay, I've been doing these steps. How do I make these steps most efficient? When doing construction, this is very much like that is the easy side. You know, I'm very much a person that we build this and not in a negative way, but going, hey, how could we have improved? Like, if we would have did this differently, how could we have shaved off 5 hours of this project by being the most efficient? In an assembly line is the most efficient. They go, hey, how could we have shaved off more time and done it more efficient? Very much with our systems is we're creating a mess going, hey, I think longevity of this thing is going to make me more efficient. Thinking about my customer relationship management software, Close.io, it was really hard learning this system and going, I'm entering it in here, This is adding more work, but what was the value that it brought? And looking at those values and saying, hey, this communication tool is valuable and this is why it's valuable. Yes, it's going to take me time right now. I'm going to make a mess of my system right now because I'm disrupting it with the goal of taking it further, creating another value to it. I just want you guys to realize that in doing things different, it disrupts and it makes a mess, but then you take the time and you clean it up. Thinking about starting a construction project, say we're going to take the siding off a house, like we're taking it off, and I know a guy that strictly does siding. You're taking it off, you're dropping these pieces, and it's making a mess. But then this guy is really efficient. Over time, he figured out a system to go, hey, I'm going to set these pieces with my right cutoff over here, and I'm going to set my pieces with my left cutoff over here, and I'm going to stack them according to lengths, and then I'm going to stack them similar to how they came in the boxes, and I'm going to tie them together with twine, and he actually lists them on Marketplace, and somebody could have a small garden shed and reside it with that, and he would have had to pay to take this stuff to the landfill. This was a very intelligent decision, part of his system of, ironically, cleaning up siding. He created a system that he could make it very efficient to bundle it very neatly. It was able to load and go to its new owner very quickly. And if it didn't sell, it was very easy for him to throw in his truck and head to the landfill. Kind of makes me jealous that I didn't think of this idea a long time ago, because I don't know how many truckloads of loose pieces of siding I had to haul to the landfill. So in this theory of making a mess and cleaning it up, you can apply this to all areas of your business. You can bring this right back home to your relationship with your wife and go, hey, in those communication things, what do? We make a mess, we stick our foot clear in our throat, and we make a mess, but then we clean it up with the long goal of creating a better relationship with our spouse, of opening up that open and honest communication for the further of the better of our relationship. So we're making a mess and we're cleaning it up. And I guess this just hits home to me right now. Just in what I'm doing, I'm using a lot of new softwares. I'm learning a lot of different things. I'm making a mess. It's chaotic. My computer screen had documents all over it. And then it's like, now I'm creating files and going, okay, this is where the podcast, all this information is going, and getting into the details of a little bit. It's like each podcast had its own folder, and it's like, this is a lot of work. Every time I record it, I can throw it into one podcast folder and they're named and they're ready to go. So I made a mess and then I'm cleaning it up. This is a system. So just recognize that it's part of business. Making a mess, keep looking at your full goal, and then you're adding things into it. But also realizing, like, if that software wouldn't have worked for me, not be so stuck like this software's gotta work. But giving it time, testing it, working, is it bringing me to my full goal? If it's not, we're getting rid of it. We're cutting it out of there. We don't need it. Constantly using these ideas of how can we be more efficient? Does this help us or does it not help us? And then using those tools, making a mess, realizing that it's a stage, making a mess, and then moving forward to cleaning it up and getting it efficient. I hope this episode was helpful for you. We'll catch you on the next one.